Okay, for this video, just a chill Saturday morning drive up a Japanese roadway in a Ferrari. What could possibly go wrong? This is a Ferrari 458 Italia, Ferrari's last V8 naturally aspirated car. This is simulated a stage 3 version, so it's got a bit of weight reduction to it, which is probably what a lot of people would do if they take cars like this on like hill climb events, which is what this would be in real life. Let's go back to first person, of course. Hill climb events are just point A to point B on a given strip of roadway. It's not a track that loops back on itself or anything. It's just as if the Japanese government in this area closed off this roadway for a bit of a motorsports day. That's what this would be like. You can really push a car and see what it can do well over legal speed limits, and that's what's enjoyable. Yeah, so for this video, I just wanted to talk about why this is so fun, and why on earth anyone would do this. Yeah, and the key place to start is, how many of you have driven a go-kart before, right? I imagine quite a few of us. And what's fun about that? Well, what's fun is obviously doing it with your friends, but the main thing about doing a go-kart is pushing the car right to the limit, seeing how fast you can make the car go around the given track, right? And ending up faster than other people and trying not to crash, right? So pushing a car to the limit, that's what I wanted to talk about today, and why this is so fun is in Assetto Corsa, unlike other games, it comes with a whole schwack of cars properly simulated, because it's made by like Cusiono Simulazioni or whatever, however you pronounce that name, who made Assetto Corsa. They call themselves a simulation company. They took the time to study the engineering of these cars, study how they drive in real life, talk to people who've actually driven them, drive them themselves where possible, and try and represent as best as humanly possible where the limit of every individual car is, the limit of its lateral grip, the limits of its longitudinal grip, front and back as you're accelerating and decelerating, what kind of tires it could possibly put it on, and how that would change the dynamics of the car, the dynamics of the engine, where it has power, and the rev range, and everything, right? So the point is, if you want to get a feel of like, okay, I understand how fun a go-kart is, but what if my go-kart had triple the horsepower, right? Ooh, you can get a sense of what that would actually be in this. You can drive something like this and feel what triple that horsepower feels like. And of course you have to have a car and a chassis to support it. So what does that mean? Like, how does that actually set up feel? How does it feel to drive? And that's the beautiful thing about Assetto Corsa here, is you can jump in a Ferrari, feel how that is to drive, properly simulated. Next thing you can do is you can go jump in a BMW, feel how that is properly simulated. You can jump in an F1 car, you can jump in a milk van, anything in between. And yeah, to get started doing that, to see how it feels, see which car driving style you like the most. Some of them, like this Ferrari, is just super balanced, but really all about the engine. It lights up its back tires everywhere when you get high in the rev range. A BMW is a lot more controlled. It doesn't spin up its tires as much. You can place the car without too much drama. But Ferrari is all about drama, of course, but it's part of what makes it fun, just to drive on a roadway like this. Yeah, all you need to do to get started in Assetto Corsa, about $20 for the game. Simulator, whatever you want to call it. That's not expensive at all. A bag of groceries costs more than $20 these days. Computer to run it on, I'll leave you that to figure that out yourself. Don't need anything too crazy though. And lastly, the rabbit hole people get stuck on is, like, what wheel do I get? What pedals do I get? And I say, that is a fantastic question, but that's a question for later. Start with just a basic game controller. That's all you need. Get used to how the cars feel from a controller. And you say, well, you can't possibly get a feeling of how the cars drive through a controller. How the hell are you going to do that? Well, number one, what I would say, are you looking at your controller while you drive? Are you seeing what the controller does? No, you're looking at what the car does, of course, right? So no matter what sort of input device you're using, whether you're using a keyboard and mouse like a crazy person, whether you're using a full proper multi-$1,000 sim racing setup, or whether you're using like a $100 controller from Staples, you're watching the guy's turn his hands, you're listening to the engine, you're feeling the vibration come through the controller, You're listening to the sound of the tires screeching as you lock up the brakes without using any ABS or stability control. You're listening to the sound of the rears slide out as you try to drift around a corner and smash into a wall. Yeah, it doesn't matter what input device you're using. You should still be able to get a visual, get a general feel of what the cars are doing based on your inputs, right? So it shouldn't really, you should not, get too hung up on what devices you're using to do this stuff. Is basically my main point I wanted to make in this video as we get to the end of the track here. It's just so much fun regardless. Give it a shot. Whatever your favorite car is, see how it is to drive. Pick a roadway, pick a track, see what you can do, That's all it should really be about. Anyway, thank you for watching.